All right, so you're a buyer, you're a seller, you are looking at real estate agents, and a lot of them are claiming number one. What does it all mean?
Yep.
Stay tuned. Number one.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Number one, number one, number one, number one. We hear it all the time in every industry, but particularly in real estate. You know, sometimes I'll go into a listing presentation and I'll say, you know, look, we actually factually do sell the most amount of property in DY. And they'll say, that's so weird because the other agent who was in here just said the same thing. So it's really, it's a really interesting thing, isn't it? So there's number one for reviews. There's number one for the amount of listings in an area. There's number one for sales and performance on realestate.com. There's lots of number ones, isn't there, Mark? And does it matter? Does it really matter, and does it really count? So we're going to talk about this today.
Then there's number one in awards.
Oh yeah, number one for collecting
number one in the
awards.
Franchise, elite agent, blah blah.
So
agent,
many of them now.
You know, all these suburb awards, and it's like, so I think as a consumer, we're going to clear it up today.
Rate my agent.
Rate my ankle. There's all these different ones out there, and I think, yeah, definitely as a consumer, it seems like every agent is donning an award. So it's like, well, why am I going to choose you on an award?
And what does it mean? And does it really matter? Does it really matter? So, and the reason we decided that we were going to talk about this today was because we actually did take out the number one auction result for 2022. That's
according to.
Hang on.
See what I said?
Reported by the media. So Sydney Morning Herald, news.com.au. But factually, it was based on the highest price paid at an auction for 2022. Number 2, Riddell Street in Manly, and that ranked the number one auction, as I said, factually for the year.
Australia-wide.
So
I don't even understand how they do that when the year hasn't finished.
I guess they probably figure the auction year has finished. Maybe they figure the auction year has finished, or maybe they look at what listings are on the market and project what could potentially sell in the lead up to the end of the year. But number one, and now I look at that, Mark, and I think that's great. Like that's an honour, absolutely, without a doubt. Particularly because we're not a high volume auction office, and particularly because we don't list and sell enormous amounts of property in the Manly precinct.
Yeah, and look, you don't want to hose your agent down for, you know, like Lisa, or you don't want to hose your agent down who's won the award and go, yeah, but that's not that important. So I get that these awards are relevant, they're important, but as a consumer, how do they relate to you, and how are they going to make you more money? How are they going to help you with your agent selection?
And how are you going to qualify that? So as I said, I was at a listing presentation the other day, and it was for an apartment in DY, and factually, we do sell the highest amount of property there in the DY precinct. And so why would that matter for someone who was looking to list their property with us? Because we're dealing with the most amount of buyers, number one. And number two, it's nice to know that the vendors, the sellers, actually do choose us to sell their property, and that's why we are ranked number one in that area. But then there's other agents, I guess, that come in and say, well, I'm number one because I've collected the most amount of reviews for that area.
I've got my mum voted me number one agent for DY.
Yeah.
So that was pretty significant in my world.
Yeah.
But also let's put that aside for a sec. Other industries. So let's look at coffee. Let's look at food. Let's look at supermarkets. It doesn't really happen. Vying for number one doesn't happen as much in most other industries. They tend to focus on a value proposition, so why they are the best. There are your CanStar reviews, or there
or the
are your
hats.
hats and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
if you consider there's hundreds of major industries out there, there's probably only a handful that actually vie for that number one position.
yeah.
The rest of the industries vie for a value proposition of
It
why
seems to
they
be,
should
yeah,
be selected.
but it certainly seems to be a really, really big thing in real estate. And so this morning, guys, we're talking about number one being number one.
Yeah.
We did get ranked as the number one option, factually, not by ourselves, but based on the highest price paid at auction for 2022.
Is
So
that going to make you choose, Lisa, to sell your property solely based on that, though?
Yeah, so the people vote, and that's a really good question. The people vote, Mark, and as a result
Thank you,
of
Lisa.
that result, the question is, and look, I'll be honest, I had never sold a house in Manly and listed the highest priced property per square metre and sold it in Manly, and then got ranked the number one auction of 2022. So thank you, Jonathan. Now, is that what does that mean to the people? Well, the people vote. The people vote. And as a result of that, did I get more listings? Yes, I absolutely did. In fact, I got 2 enormous listings right off the back of that one, and about 8 appraisals. So the people vote.
You know,
People
for
vote.
some reason it reminds me of military men
Yeah.
and women. That, when you see them go to uniform on Anzac Day, and you see they've got all those
Oh, the badges. Yeah.
badges. Now you got no idea what any of
That's
those
a really good analogy.
any of those badges mean, but you see like a badged up man, you go, wow,
Respect.
like respect to you.
Respect to you.
So
Yeah.
I think in a way, there is in the industry, it's if you do have those badges, you're not solely going to take one of those badges and select on that, but I think in combination with good service, great personality,
Yep.
referrals,
And I think you've got to
signage,
be careful how you. I think you've
in
got to be
conjunction with
careful
everything.
how you use that information. So I go to a lot of listing presentations, and I can tell you something. Actually, let me tell you guys a little story. I was at a listing presentation, and it was in Balgala. It was actually a shocking divorce. I managed to get the husband and the wife together, and as I sat down with them at the dining table, I turned around and saw on their buffet that they had 8 proposals. That's a huge amount of proposals from other agents. And I had mine, my big black leather shiny folder, and I said to them, guys, sorry, could I just ask, are they all proposals from other agents? They said they are. And I closed up my proposal and I said, look, we don't need to go through another one of these. I'm just wondering, what is it that you do need? And why did you not choose one of those 8 agents? And again, this was an area at the time I wasn't selling a lot of property in. And they said to me, we needed someone to ask us that. We needed someone to ask us what it was that we needed. No one stopped to ask them, because everyone sat there, every one of those agents sat there and told them how great they were. Oh, we sell so much property. We sold this one, we sold that one, we sell everything. This is our area. We've won the most amount of awards. And that was just not relevant to the client. So you've got to be really careful how you throw those number ones around. And if you are the number one agent that collects the most amount of reviews, or if you are the number one agent that took out the biggest auction result for 2022, or the number one agent that sells the most amount of property in that area, you've got to relate that back to the client. What does that mean for them? Not what does that mean for you, because no one cares. What does that mean for the client?
More buyers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So cool. Okay, you got more buyers, but I think that's really important. Otherwise, you're just tossing it around. Do you know what I mean? And that's the value proposition that I was talking about with these awards. How does it relate back to the client? Where is the value for the client?
Absolutely.
How does that better for the client in them selecting you as a real estate agent? Super important.
100%. Jonathan's just making some really good points here. There would be established manly agents scratching their heads and still questioning the power of social media. So, again, there's another number one. Now, we're not ranking us as ourselves as the number one agents on social media, but I'll tell you something. We were out last night in the city.
You had a fan club chasing you down the street.
Not quite, but we got into the lift in the city, and there was this lovely girl who was hopping in the lift, and she smiled at me and smiled back, and she goes, "Excuse me," while we're in the lift, are you Lisa Novak? And I go, "I am." She goes, "Oh, I follow your social media. I love what you do." I go, "Thank you so much." I said, are you in real estate?" She said, "No, I'm in finance." And I just thought, there you go. Again, the people, they're the ones that vote, and they're the ones that matter. So be careful, guys, when you're throwing the number one around.
She even had a tattoo of your name on her neck. She was a real groupie. And by the way, it never happens with me.
No, that's not true. That's not true, Mark. Love fun. Bye, Luke. I think you've been the most. I think 800 and how many episodes? What are we up to?
892.
892, and I reckon Luke has put bye onto 892 episodes.
Yeah.
Number one follower. There you go. So number one, guys. What else, Mark? What else can we talk about the number one?
Well, it's Friday Frenzy as well. So we're rolling hard into the 25th of December.
What does the last 4 weeks?
Three weeks to go. We actually looked at what days Christmas and New Year's are falling on out of interest, and tried to relate them back to real estate, because that's what we do. And what actually happens is you got your Christmas on Sunday, and you got your New Year's Eve.
I think New Year's Eve is Saturday.
Day on Sunday
night. Yeah.
So you then, as a consequence, get Monday, Tuesday off after Christmas, and this Monday off after. Basically, it's the perfect public holiday.
It is.
Like that session. So if you haven't looked at your calendars, rest assured it is perfect. We looked at that. We're still open on the Saturday doing opens, fortunately, because they're not public holidays, and we can roll into the long weekends.
Okay, I want to just talk
more of those.
I want to talk about the last 3.5 weeks of this year, because it's really interesting. This is, in the last week, it's the most amount of buyer activity that I have seen all year. Year. It's been really busy. We've actually been really, really busy with sales, and some big sales. We sold a 2-bedder in DY at auction on Wednesday night for $1.5 million. That is reminiscent of a roaring hot market. Great apartment, but roaring hot as I said, reminiscent of a roaring hot market. There's a lot of stock that we are still bringing on because there's buyer activity. If the buyers are there, we will open up the properties and we will show them and we will sell them. Also, interesting fun fact, realestate.com's busiest 2 days of the year are?
2 months of the year.
Busiest 2 days of the year.
I don't know, but I know the 2
Christmas
months of
Day
the year.
and Boxing Day.
Really?
Who would think?
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I know
Christmas
the 2
Day and
months
Boxing
of
Day.
the year are December and January. So people got time. It's warming up, positive mindset, and it's a great time of the year. So if considering doing a deal, if you're a seller or a landlord wanting to rent or sell your property, it's a bloody good time because people are out there looking. Now, if your agent's closed, you're in a bit of a pickle. So just make sure the agent you're selecting is going to be opening through the festive season, because there is a lot of buyers and a lot of tenants looking for stuff.
And also, you've got to look at the area. Like, we're on the Northern Beaches. We are a holiday area where people come to the Northern Beaches for holidays.
Yeah, we're not CBD.
No, that's exactly right. So, it makes good sense that we're open all the way through. And every year every year we go, oh, it's a great time just to catch up on, you know, fixing up the CRM and, you know, cleaning the office and doing all of that.
True.
And every year we get absolutely smashed with listings and buyers.
It's true.
And there's no time to do any of that.
Steve Carroll's surprised we're not working on Christmas Day. It's true.
Oh, Steve, I exchanged a property, believe it or not. I exchanged a property on Christmas Day last year. Fun fact, true story.
If you love what sounds corny.
Hey,
If
and
you love what you
congratulations to
do.
Steve as well, Mark. He's got it.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
we're going to get you on, Steve.
Yes.
We're going to bring you on. It's been way, way too long between morning minutes. But congratulations on your new job. Absolute legend. If you guys don't know Steve Carroll, he used to be one of the head guys at REA. And just an all-round absolutely top guy, big advocate for charity as well, hands across the water.
And of late, in the last couple of years, he's got agents, real estate agents together to raise over $1 million
Phenomenal.
to children in need. What a weapon.
Absolute weapon. So busy, guys. The agents that might be telling you out there that the market really quietens down over Christmas and New Year.
It's because they're quieting down.
Well, just the best question, good luck to them. But the best question to ask them is, are you going to be away over that period of time? You will find that a lot of real estate agents, a lot of solicitors, a lot of banks will shut down from about the 18th or 19th of December and won't come back until about the second week of Jan.
Yep.
Some of them don't come back until after Australia Day. We will be open the whole way through. It's flat chat, honestly, busiest I've seen it all year long.
Just go hard or go home.
What else, Mark?
I reckon that's it. That's a show.
Favourite property? What's your favourite property at the moment?
To buy? The Kindy.
Yeah.
I got this Kindy for sale with a 7% net, triple net return. What does that mean?
Come on.
That means you buy it for sort of around that 4.3, and it's got over 300,000 of income coming in on it. 300,000. But I haven't seen that rate of return on a property for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
Great tenant, almost a brand new property, completely let. The lease runs all the way through 2042.
Wow.
So
that's enormous.
That's what I'd be buying. You know, if you're a retiree, you're buying an income for life. That's phenomenal.
My
and the tenant pays strata, water,
that's
council,
crazy.
land tax. The tenant pays everything, and the tenant maintains the air conditioning, the fit out, the everything.
My favourite is actually one of my favourite properties ever, not just as a real estate agent, but as a human being, is a waterfront down in Manly. Yes, back in Manly. Bruce Avenue, right down on the harbour's edge.
She's a
Literally,
beauty.
I've never seen a property that sits this close to the harbour. As in, you've got a gate, you open it up, you dangle your feet off the edge of it.
Yes.
It's got its own boat slip, which I think there's only 2 or 3 houses in the whole of Manly that get their own boat slip. They're worth a lot of money, and it's got a DA. That's my favourite, 7 Bruce Ave in Manly. I think Mark's bringing it up now. Look at her. She's a beauty.
That's
Absolute
the beach
beauty.
over there. That's the harbour in front, and then that's the house with a boat slip.
Love her. Circa 13 mil for that one. So yeah, beautiful property. And if you look at what that one that we sold at auction, Mark, the number 1 auction result of 2022, to Riddell Street, Manly, that one was hovering over the Surf Lifesaving Club right across Manly beachfront. Went for 21.5. So if you look at something like that, that's right on the waterfront for circa 13, I reckon it's not bad value, says the eastern suburbs born and bred girl. Because properties like that around the eastern suburbs are, 30-40 million. Oh, Novak Curly Learning Centre. I feel like we run that sometimes, Jonathan, at work and at home.
What a legend. What a legend. Guys, have a beautiful weekend, and hopefully we've had some good oil today to help you make good decisions. What else?
If you've ever got any ideas about segments and topics that you want us to talk about, we had a lovely lady reach out to us during the week. Please do that. Like, we're always open to, I think we're never short on topics, but, always reach out to us if there is something that you would like to know, and we'll do our best to pop a show together for you.
Or if you want to come on.
That's it from us.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.